Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we're going to be taking a look at some absolutely breathtaking cards from the new Battle of Yavin scenario pack that's coming out next month from Atomic Mass Games for Star Wars X-Wing, the miniatures game. If you haven't already checked out X-Wing, or if you want to learn more, my channel is a great place. You also can head over to atomicmassgames.com to learn a little bit more, but there's a lot of great community information out there available. And so today we're going to be looking at this new scenario pack, specifically the TIE Interceptors that are going to be coming out in this pack because they have some absolutely fantastic art. And not only are we interested in the art, we're also interested in what they do, what you can expect from the expansion. But in this case, as I was preparing to talk about some of the cards that were linked in a recent article, some of the stuff that we can expect in this pack, I was really blown away. Now, the art that they commissioned to do these pieces is always absolutely fantastic, but in this case, I feel like they kind of stepped up a whole another level and took it to a different place. And so it's really exciting. And so I want to kind of highlight the art as we talk about these because it's like art we've never seen before. It's absolutely amazing. Now, also, if you guys are new here to the channel, I do invite you to subscribe. We're doing a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. This will run for about 2 weeks. I usually announce winners towards the end of my videos. Also have to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Be sure to check out luxuryplaystyle.com. They have amazing full metal tokens for a variety of different games. They have tokens compatible with X-Wing, also Star Wars Legion, some of the Arkham games, L5R, Keyforge, all kinds of games like that. You name it. Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com, and while you're there, remember to use code CrabbokVIP. You're going to save 15% off of your purchase, but you're going to love these tokens, so check them out. All right, so first thing I want to talk about is as we look at some of these amazing cards, and look, they really do look fantastic, but I think there's kind of an elephant in the room about the scenario of the Battle of Yavin and why they're including TIE Interceptors into the Battle of Yavin scenario pack. Because obviously anybody who has seen Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, or originally just Star Wars if you're old enough, knows that there were no TIE Interceptors present during that battle and during the movie. However, there's two reasons, really. First is that, they actually talked to Lucasfilm, and AMG has talked about this in a couple of their streams and articles and why they were included. But one of those reasons they were able to talk to Lucasfilm because TIE Interceptors weren't created overnight. They certainly existed in prototype phase long before we saw them in Return of the Jedi. And so this particular kind of detachment of TIE Interceptors that we're going to be looking at sort of represent a nearby prototype facility where they were being produced and tested, and so they actually coordinated all of this with Lucasfilm and got the okay to do all of that, which is pretty cool. It's fun to be able to work in things like that because I think the prototype nature of these TIE Interceptors is reflected in some of the changes in these standardized loadouts that we see here, as opposed to the stock TIE Interceptors that are mass produced by the time of Return of the Jedi. But not only that, since this is a scenario pack and it's meant to give some new options for the Rebels and the Empire, the Rebels have more ships on screen during A New Hope than the Empire does. And so it wouldn't have been a balanced pack to give the Millennium Falcon, X-Wings, and Y-Wings to the Rebels and only give Darth Vader's TIE Advanced and regular TIE fighters to the Empire, because you'd have 3 versus 2, and a big part of what you try to do with releases like this is to make them balanced and give some equality or parity to both sides. So I think the inclusion of TIE Interceptors, it sort of works and it sort of fit to kind of be that offset ship to kind of make both sides have an even number of ships. So there's both a thematic reason as well as just a gameplay balance reason, and so that's why we're talking about TIE Interceptors today. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about Iden Versio. One of the things you're going to notice about Iden Versio in a TIE Interceptor, very, very cool, popular character, by the way. I love Iden Versio, as a matter of fact, is that while we have seen her before in X-Wing flying a TIE fighter, we are now seeing her in a TIE Interceptor. By the way, fantastic art. We've got some motion blur in the background. You're seeing the surface of the Death Star behind her. So in this maybe slightly altered scenario, TIE Interceptors were able to join the fight, and maybe this is going to be the thing that in your tabletop experience helps change it to where maybe the Rebels don't actually blow up the Death Star this time. Maybe Iden Versio and her TIE Interceptors were the difference maker. Possibly. I love that you actually see her hunting down an X-Wing too. You see the cockpit, you see the engine glow, that distinctive engine glow of those four kind of pink, bright red pink X-Wing engines kind of glowing in there. So she's got them locked down. She's right behind them, and that's also referenced by some of her abilities that you see here as well. But one of the things that you're going to notice that Iden Versio has is that the TIE Interceptors typically don't have is an extra shield. They actually have one shield, so basically a shield upgrade has kind of been added to this particular TIE Interceptor, and that's certainly not typical of TIE Interceptors, but it is in this case. Now, granted, certainly you can modify them if you're going to do that for your modification, but that's part of the standard loadout. Now, Iden Versio is also going to have a pilot ability kind of similar to her pilot ability that she has in a TIE Fighter. That's kind of protecting other ships. And the TIE Fighter is a once per game ability, but here it's potentially multiple times per game, but not every round. So she's going to have 2 charge. You recover one per round, and before a friendly TIE at range 0 to 1 would suffer damage, you may spend 2 charge if you do prevent 1 hit or a crit. And so you'll do this. You'll spend 2 charge, then you have to wait a round. You'll get 1 back next round. You can't do it again, but then the following round, then it'll be fully recharged. And so this is something she can do multiple times. Also, I want to point out that it looks like that she can do this to herself because it doesn't say another friendly TIE. It says a friendly TIE, and you're always friendly to yourself. The TIE Interceptors in this pack are also going to have sensitive controls, and so you're not going to have your normal. It's similar. It's going to be a slightly different pilot ability than you're already used to. So sensitive controls says during the system phase, you may perform a red barrel roll or a red boost action. Now, again, red actions are okay because TIE Interceptors have a lot of blue on their dial, but still, you gotta be careful with that. So it's a slight change to the way you would normally fly TIE Interceptors, and it's meant to kind of reflect the fact that these are more of a prototype TIE Interceptor. So keep that in mind. Also, all of the TIE Interceptors we're going to be looking at today are also Initiative 4, which means they're not super early to attack and also not super early to move either. So they're kind of in the middle of the road, still threatening at Initiative 4, but easily able to be outmaneuvered and outshot by higher skilled aces. So keep that in mind. Iden Versio also has Predator, as kind of influenced by the amazing artwork here. While you perform a primary attack, if the defender's in your bullseye arc, you may re-roll an attack die. And of course, looks like she's got that X-Wing right in her bullseye. She also has Fanatic. So if she gets damaged, she gets to change. She gets basically one focus for free. And so she can kind of control that a little bit on herself if she wants to use her own pilot ability to make sure she gets damage early, but then doesn't take too much more. That's kind of a nice way to do it. But then again, she's shielded. So, she's going to have to take a few hits first, and then she can maybe, protect other people in the meantime. I like the pilot ability. I like the ship. You can't change it from there, though. I kind of like the standardized loadouts. I kind of like how they're doing that, too. It's going to be just one card you pull out, and then you can play. You don't have to dig through all your upgrade cards, and it's going to be new player-friendly as well. That's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. Next up, we have probably my favorite pilot out of this whole pack is Sigma 4. First off, Sigma 4 seems most thematic with in kind of a grouping where everybody's Initiative 4. So I thought that's just kind of a little funny aspect here. Great artwork on this one, too. You've got Yavin in the back, or the moon of Yavin. Or no, you've got the Yavin sun right there in the back. Just absolutely... Or no, that's not the it's a gas giant. It's not the sun. It's just a gas giant planet. But it's so glows kind of brightly. But you've got this awesome green engine glow, or turbo laser glow that's just kind of reflected on the tips of the interceptor, also on those Death Star towers. Also just kind of making reminding you of where this battle is taking place. So that's also really cool. It's just awesome to see the different things that they're coming up with for this all this artwork. And I say that because a lot of the space battles that we see and a lot of the kind of inspirations for this artwork could just be in space, and X-Wing has so many different pilots and so many different pieces of art that have gone into it over the years. At a certain point, you're just getting so much, just stars in the background, and so it's like it tells an artist to be more and more and more creative to try to come up with new backgrounds that aren't just other fighters or stars in the background. So the way that they keep pushing the envelope with ways to make each of these look thematic and action oriented and also distinct is really cool. So now Sigma 4 is one of these kind of unnamed specialty prototype pilots, and one of the things you're going to notice on all of the rest of the pilots we're going to look at today is they don't have that shield upgrade, but they do have a hull upgrade. So you're looking at 3-3-4, 3 attack, 3 agility, 4 hull. And then we have some charge abilities too, which are pretty cool. Again, all of these pilots are going to have the sensitive controls chassis upgrade, so keep that in mind. But Sigma 4 has a really cool one called, it says, after you perform a barrel roll action, you may spend a charge to perform a boost action. Now, Sigma 4's charge does not recover, so this is a twice per game ability. That's okay. That means it's going to be really powerful, but you don't want to use it too liberally. What also I like about this particular ability is it really factors into a lot of the things that are going on. First off, you might think, well, that doesn't work too well with sensitive controls because it'll be a red barrel roll action you would do, and then you wouldn't be able to perform that free, boost action. But you do have primed thrusters on here. By the way, this is tech. You normally can't even put that on a TIE Interceptor. Again, that's one of the beauties of of standardized loadouts is that they're able to change the upgrades that you'd legally be able to do anyway. So very, very cool, prototype TIE Interceptor here. Primed thrusters is going to say, well, you have 2 or fewer stress tokens. You can perform barrel roll and boost actions even while stressed. So all of a sudden, now you get to use sensitive controls combined with this pilot ability and combined with primed thrusters. It all works together and allows you to do some crazy shenanigans with your positioning. However, you are still at initiative 4. You also get disciplined on this one, and that's also going to factor into everything else. If somebody else gets blown up, you can be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to barrel roll. Oh, and I'm going to boost also. And oh, that's okay. I was stressed. You didn't expect me to do that. But prime thrusters, and you just don't want to get overstressed. And it's not hard to clear stress in an interceptor. You have a lot of blue on the dial. Very cool. Reposition shenanigans. I love it. We got a fantastic art piece right here with Sigma 5 flying high above the Death Star, looking for a target, kind of staying safe, staying high above, a little bit safe and a little bit defensive. And what's amazing about this is you do get that. You've seen the curvature of the Death Star. I've never seen the Death Star from this angle before, kind of high enough that you can see it curve, but close enough so you can still see the trench, and so it still looks familiar. It's very cool. Sigma 5 is going to say, after you perform an attack that hits, you may spend a charge to perform an evade action. So again, also 2 charge, non-recurring. This is going to be a trend. But the evade action is going to work into the more defensive TIE Interceptor role. You're seeing some other things like elusive, which again, you'll be able to spend a charge to re-roll a defense dice. You also have sensor jammer. If there's a friendly lock on whoever's attacking you, you're going to be able to mess with their dice and change a hit to an eyeball. Now, first off, that's a system upgrade, so that's kind of another kind of cool thing you don't normally see on TIE Interceptors. But also, this one is maybe not the most perfect upgrade for this particular ship because you don't have the ability to target lock on Sigma 5, so you can't make this work by yourself. So I have a feeling Sigma 5 might be one of the cheaper TIE Interceptors because it does require setup to work, whereas some of the other ships that we've seen so far are kind of like self-sustaining. So Sigma 5 would be good to pair with the Darth Vader that happens to come in this pack, since Darth Vader can also take a target lock, and he usually wants to take a target lock. But you also have another interceptor we're going to look at in a little bit that has the upgraded ability to be able to do that as well. Let's take a look at Sigma 5. Sigma 5, this is one of my favorite art pieces of all time right here. This is absolutely gorgeous. Like I love the shockwave behind him. It's and he's like slamming out of there. He does the slam action as part of his Sigma 6's ability, and you're absolutely seeing the slam in motion right here. He just hit the afterburners. He's going. So Again, Initiative 4, again, 2 charge. It says after you fully execute a speed 3 to 5 maneuver, you can spend a charge to perform a slam action, which again is going to take you really far. If you need to like dart across the whole board, like this is the way to do it. Also, since a slam action lets you do a maneuver, you can activate afterburners, and that can also pair into Daredevil, letting you get like just this crazy positioning, which is, you know, it might be more than you need, but I feel like this would be a really fun one to run a couple of times. Maybe not my favorite out of the whole set, but could be one of the most fun, just because of the shenanigans you can do. And by the way, that looks like that's a Y-wing behind him. I love the subtleties in the artwork too. Like you can easily miss parts of the Y-wing's engine. You've got one of the pieces off to the left, another, you know, the main chassis of it off to the right, and you've got Sigma 6 that just blasted through it and now is trying to get out of there before the explosion of this enemy ship like damages his new paint job. He's trying to get out of there really quick at all costs. I love it. I love it. Lastly, we have this magnificent piece right here of Sigma 7 kind of angling in and doing some expert flying. I love this. I love this shot. It's absolutely magnificent. Sigma 7 does have target lock, by the way. So that's also a cool thing. So you're actually seeing a couple of extra upgrades on this one. Plus, you know, you're still getting that 4th hull like you got on all of these interceptors except for Iden Versio, but you're also getting getting the target lock action. So a very fun one. You got fire control systems to work with the target lock action. You also got marksmanship if you're able to line up those shots, which you definitely want to do. And also 2 charge here. It says during the system phase, you may spend a charge to acquire a lock on an enemy ship at range 0 to 1. So it's worth pointing out that since you have the target lock action, you can always just get target locks naturally. It's not something that TIE Interceptors need to do all the time, but it's a nice option to have, especially if you're flying away from somebody and you've got no other action. Like if nobody's able to shoot you, you get that target lock for the next turn, and then you come in with a lock and a focus, and then you really just wreck faces. It's very, very fun to do that. But this one can wreck faces a little bit sooner because you have twice a game, you'll be able to just boom. Oh, you know what? We're at range 1. I'm going to have a range 1 shot of you, so I'm just going to, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, well, you think you're going to have it. It's during a system phase, so you don't know for sure. But sometimes you have a pretty good idea that you're going to have a range 1 shot. And plus, if you use that charge and you get the lock on the enemy ship, even if they go away, well, the lock remains. If you don't spend it, like if it turns out you didn't need it this turn, there's like, that's virtually like that's not really a penalizing miscalculation because the lock will stay, and then once you turn around and you get to engage them like on the next turn, then you're going to be able to focus and have that free lock as well. So very, very cool stuff. I like the ability. I like everything that's going on with this card. The fire control system kind of works again. Another system upgrade on this one. It just works with the extra target locks of shenanigans, and it also feeds into Sigma 4. It works into Sigma 5 with the sensor jammer. So there you go. So I thought that was pretty cool how they're kind of making them work together. So Sigma 5 can work with 7 or Darth Vader or any other ship if you don't, because again, you don't have to run all standard loadouts in your build. You can, but you don't have to. You can just run normal stuff. These are kind of drag and drop, and so I think that's pretty cool. But I want to hear what you guys think. What do you guys think of these new TIE Interceptors? Do you think that you will run them? Which one's your favorite, or do you prefer like the classic TIE Interceptors? I do really like my Avenger squadrons. I like Soontir Fel. Who doesn't like Soontir Fel? He's awesome. So it's going to be a tough competition for TIE Interceptors, but maybe there'll be a great way to kind of mix and match both of them, the old and the new, see which ones outperform which. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. Thank you for your continued support. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. So stay we all. Wash your socks, and goodbye there.